What's the opposite of tear the roof off the sucker? This is Liberty Prime with Base Builders, and welcome back to RuneScape Dragonwilds. In this episode, we're going to see if we can finally break that roofing curse. So if you enjoy learning how to build wonderful things in RuneScape Dragonwilds, please be sure to leave a like on this video. Oh, and if you want to see how our fairytale village is going to turn out, please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any tricks and tips. Okay, y'all, roofs are definitely under a curse here. Oh, see, this morning I recorded 40-ish minutes of me getting this roof to this stage. When I opened up the recording, what I got was 40-ish minutes of a freeze frame of that. I think that's like the screen cap that I used as my thumbnail last time, but it sort of divided in half. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to just destroy this work that I put so much effort into, and that'll actually get rid of a little snapping problem that we had earlier on, which is what resulted in this little mismatch right here, which was making the whole roof really hard to finish. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to destroy all this work, well, most of this work, and then we're going to redo this entire roof correctly from the get-go. Oh, 40 minutes, man. OBS, don't make me cuss on YouTube. Alrighty now, once more with feeling, quite a lot of slightly hard feelings, actually. Let's see if we can put back some of this stuff that I have just recently destroyed. But hopefully we can put it back a little bit better this time around. Now I'm going to have a little window over this doorway, and I am thinking, I decided this while I was working on the previous version of this, but I'm thinking that I might eventually turn this into a bay window. It's not going to be in this episode. This episode is my battle with the other things that I'm trying to do with the roof stuff. But in an upcoming episode, I'm thinking that this might actually wind up being a cute little smaller bay window than this one over here. But we're going to be forming this wall eventually. Let's just start over here. And I've kind of already forgotten what I did last time. So, yeah, who knows how this is going to turn out. But what's going to happen right now is I'm going to just build this up to be the support for our roof. And I probably should be in the advanced snapping mode. On snap. Not in the mood for doing a whole bunch of editing, I can tell you that much for sure. Okay, come on, snap properly. Don't let me get all lost in the walls. I often get lost in the sauce, but I don't need to be lost in the walls on top of it. I'm going to be a little bit bitter this episode. I warn y'all right now. So I'm a little bit bitter. And I think that, OBS is the chief culprit here, but anyway, I have decided that this is going to be better the second time around. Maybe we'll somehow break that curse, but I'm not going to depend on it by any means. Now let's continue to see. All right, maybe this will help. We might not actually need that, so I think that what I'm going to do is switch over to basic and hope real hard that the roof goes on more smoothly this time, because I think that last time, at the time that I will be talking about a whole bunch, so y'all just get used to hearing the phrase last time, or the first time, something along those lines, will happen various times as we rebuild all this mess. Anyway, last time the snapping just did not go correctly on this roof, or on this wall, and that wound up with a terrible mismatch when I tried to build the dormer. And I think that this is exactly how it happened, so we're not going to be doing it like that. But I do want a little bit extra of this 30 degree here. So instead of doing that, let's see how I can make this work. Because this wound up meeting just a little bit too early. Well, I guess we do need to have one of those small walls going on. Or one of these guys, I should say. Because sort of my basic thought in going into this particular roof was that I do still want it to have this general line where it's, sort of more sloped at the bottom, 45 degrees in the middle, and then 60 degrees at the top. I do want it to have that general line, but I want the thing to be wider overall because this is a wider wall than this is. This is only 4 of these medium pieces wide, and this is 5 medium pieces wide. So we're going to try adding just a little bit more of these 30-degree parts, but let's see what the best way to do that is going to be, and it might be to do that. And I don't know if that's going to work out quite how I want it to, but let's give it a shot. And if we have to just, destroy this and cause a whole bunch more, then we're just going to have to destroy this and cause a whole bunch more. I've been wanting to try out the whole bleeping sound effect on YouTube. Maybe that should be a thing for me soon. Oh, I don't know if I want you to do advanced snapping. I want you to be just as correct as you possibly can be, and I think that basic snapping is the best way to get that effect. Alrighty, we're going to keep on trying. And this is looking a little bit more proper. So, yeah, I think that this might be the trick. So we're going to go ahead and put in another one of those on this side. And hope that I have actually got the... realize that I have spun it just the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully this is going to work out just fine this time around, and it will be a whole lot faster, and I won't have to do a whole bunch of editing and fast forwarding, and that'll be a nice little bonus. Because that was driving me all sorts of nuts the first time around. Okay, are you snapped correctly? You look correct. Let's just keep on going and find out what's going to happen. Alrighty, let's go back to the smaller pieces. And ooh, that's an interesting effect. Do we have, what's the word, eclipses in this game? Because that's looking a little bit eclipsy. And it is getting a little bit unexpectedly dark, but maybe that's just the moon telling me that it's almost nighttime already. Doesn't seem like it should be almost nighttime already, but maybe it is. But anyway, so far so good with this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and test out this dormer join in just a few seconds. Once I've got this in place. What did we just say about not making me edit? I don't want to have to edit. Alrighty, so far so good. Okay. Now, as I said the first time around, and very much y'all should get used to hearing that phrase, the reason that I'm using these smaller pieces for the front little overhang is because I like the kind of a frilly effect that it gives me. Although I have decided that over here, I'm not going to be doing that frilly effect. And the first time around, I did fix that over here as well. This originally had 2 of the smaller pieces as this 45 degrees, but the way that it made this portion... Ooh, well, hang on, let me get in here. Okay, the way that it made this portion look was just a little bit too fancy and too frilly. Wait, what do I need to pick out? Okay, yeah, this is my next step. And I'm going to leave the fancy and frilly over here. Well, let's get back into build so I can point. I am going to leave the fancy and frilly over here because, it's a larger scale, so it works out well enough. But on these smaller scale ones, I'm going to be going with the simpler version, which I might as well go ahead and put into place here. Ooh, wait, that's not the way to do it. I need this to go sort of halfway. Yeah. And in just a second, I'm going to make it bright again. Okay, come on, snap. There we go. Alrighty, well, hey, the first very brief day of work is done, and we're going to get us some sunlight in just a second. Oh, well, let's go ahead and pick up whatever's in here, or as much of it as we can. And let's get our little butts to bed. I came very close to cussing there, y'all. Up and at 'em, sunshine. Oh, I'm in a cussy mood today. Okay, let's get right back into it. This roof is going along pretty well so far. Let's see if we can keep it up. And I'm afraid that I might need to use some of these guys up here, just like one of them. Well, anyway, you know what? Actually, I was going to go ahead and start building on this, so let's go ahead and start building on this. And I can't remember how far out I need to go, but let's go ahead and put in a little wall support here for this window for when it meets up with the roof. And you are looking proper and perpendicular so far. And it looks like we do actually need a skinny piece for this starter piece. So let's go over here and get one of them. And then we can put our valley into place. And the same over on this side. Okay, and now, to complete this little dormer's overall effect, I think that what we're going to do is a little bit of this, if we can get it to beat up the way we want it to. And I think that that is not... Okay, yeah, I think that that's the way we want it to meet up. Let's find out in just a few more seconds. Now, you are being advanced, so I don't trust you. Let's get you back over to basic. Because sometimes the basic snapping is the most dependable amount of snap, or the most dependable type of snapping. And I'm hopeful that this will show through the very top of the roof, and it looks like it might. Okay, come on. Ooh, go all the way. Yeah, you're gonna make me be advanced, aren't you? Oh, we had it for just a second. There might be some editing in this episode after all. Arrgh! Nasty little thing making me edit. Urgh. I just don't like you sometimes. But then the other times I do like you just fine, so, well, we'll just have to get over it. Alrighty, well that's not going to be too much editing, hopefully. Let's get one of these, well, two of these tiny little pieces here to finish out this effect. Come on. There we go, and now we're going to put a little valley piece here so that we can just marry it up with this roof pretty nicely, hopefully. Okay, come on little valley piece, there you is. I think you used the correct one. And let's make sure that you are rotated properly, which you weren't. Now, I think that that's where I need it to be. Okay, now let's see what kind of a roof we can get away with now. Hopefully we can do some of the larger pieces. Alright, come on, little guy. You can do it. There we go, and look at that. This valley is making the perfect little angle there. So let's try for some of these 30-degree guys. And we can go for the larger ones of those as well. Ooh, you had it for just a split second. There we go. Alright, this is going along nicely and smoothly. I just don't know what to do with myself here. Okay, I'm not going to depend on the curse being over yet, though. I can tell you that much for sure. Now, there is definitely a possibility that later on I will put a matching dormer over on this side of the wall. But for now, I think we're going to kind of leave it as is, and just keep on going with this roof. Nobody's going to be paying... Ooh, wrong roof. Nobody's going to be paying too much attention to the back side of this anyway, unless they're standing up on the cliff, which, well, we'll figure that one out later on. Okay, and hopefully we will figure out this snapping sooner on. Alright, we're actually getting pretty close to being done, so I might be able to do a few more little detail bits, or possibly just have this whole roof join up over there. But it's time for a few smaller pieces now. Or I could, well, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should just kind of cheat. By the time that I make my decision, it's going to be, you know, as if I had gone ahead and done these pieces anyway. So let's go ahead and do these pieces anyway. And we can't keep going with that quite yet. There will be another valley coming up pretty soon. Alrighty, a little bit over here in column B. And maybe I should just fast forward this. Okay, making progress, y'all. But now we got to get this to be just a little bit taller. Let's take a look back and see if that curve is going to be about what I was hoping. And it does look like it's shaping up to be. But I'm going to make a little square up here just to fill in the rest of this wall. We might do something a little bit more decorative later on, but again, that's going to be for another episode. What we're doing this episode is finishing up the little top of this, and we might have to get back to basics for it. But it's going surprisingly smoothly so far. Oh, I meant to actually click. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing over here with some of these roofing pieces. And we will probably have to start with the small pieces. Oh, and you know what? Ooh. I'm going to get back to basics because I'm not sure that I trust that you was doing the right thing. And, okay, yeah. Now you was doing the right thing. Okay. Didn't even have to fast forward through that one. Ooh, amazing. Oh, well, do you know? And of course now I'm out of materials. Yeah. I bet you I can pick them all up real quick. I think that we might have plenty hiding inside here. And that bush is annoying, but I don't think I can do anything at all about it. And let's see if we actually do have about enough. We've got a decent amount of that and a decent amount of that. And I think those are the main two things that I need for this stage. Ooh, let's see if we can jump up and get those. Oh, it actually worked. All right. Well, what do you know? I'm going to hang out in here for my next Oculus jaunt. Okay, now let's keep on finishing this roof up. Well, I think I'm in the wrong piece, aren't I? Let's get a different piece out and finish up this roof a little bit more. Okay. We're even clicked the right way around. All right, and now we're going to be able to just do the wider pieces the rest of the way down. Although, I'm not quite sure how far we should carry this yet. And I think I'm going to go ahead and build this roof back so that we can make these two join up and wonder where they're going to meet. All right, this one's going to be just a little bit lower than this one, which is about what I was hoping for. So that is excellent news for me. And I'm glancing over at OBS to make sure nothing silly is happening back there, because I sure enough don't trust it. Now, I wonder if I can replace this valley with one of the larger ones. I'm betting that I can. And I'm betting that I just destroyed the wrong thing, so I can't see yet what I actually destroyed, but well, we'll find out later on. Okay, let's try for one of the things that I was aiming for, which is one of these medium-sized valleys. And please to be rotated correctly. You is rotated correctly. And you is meeting up so nice and sweet and smooth. I don't know how to cope with that. And I think we need it on both sides, don't we? Are you snapping in the correct spot? We might have to just wait and see. Alright. Progress is being made. Alright. I like progress. Now see, we've already gotten farther in, well, what is, in recording terms, about 15 minutes. We'll find out what happens when I fast forward a little bit. But, alright, so far so good. And that's about what I was hoping for the angle. I maybe made it a little bit pointier than I wanted it to be, but we can always go back and redo that if we need to. Because, you know, I might want to make it a little bit more like this, where it's just barely pointy at the very top. Oh goodness, I do get lost in the sauce. And in the walls. Alrighty, let's carry on with some of this for a little while. We need to put some more of this roof down here, which we'll have to get into the advanced snapping for, if we can manage it. Don't make me fast forward. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to cheat just a tiny little bit. I do enjoy cheating on this kind of thing. Let us cheat our way that ways and just destroy some of this. And also take a moment to glimpse at the finished effect, because I might kind of like it. Nah, it's too far up on the window. Nope. But I don't need this one. We just need some more of this one. Now you snap there. Let's try basic. Will you snap? Yes, you will now. Alright. Yeah. Now let's just get rid of these. All the way down. Okay. That's looking a little bit better. And now we're going to have to get lost in the walls again, as per usual. And we will put some of these nice little medium rectangles here so very nicely. Oh, I do love it when it does exactly what I want it to. And I'm going to just do that. Overlap it just a little bit. And possibly I should go ahead and do that for the entire thing. We don't need these two little babies. We can just put this there if I can find enough materials. But am I out of this time? I'm just going to assume that that was a problem. Let's hit the right button on the third try. Okay, yeah, I've only got 5 more oak logs. So let's go over here and hope that I got more hiding from me somewhere other than on the ground. Ooh, no. Well, I will see y'all in just a minute. I'm going to go do some very quick little grinding. I do spy several oak trees that are calling my name. Alright, y'all. Deforestation accomplished. So let's get right back up there and see if we can patch this roof just a little bit. And here we go. One more again. And hopefully you did it just correctly. I should probably check on the inside. Yeah, that's looking about right. And let's actually do the same thing over here now that I'm looking at it. Well, I hope I don't accidentally destroy anything else. Alright, that worked out pretty nicely so far. Let's see if we can persuade you to do exactly what I want you to. It's looking like I can. Imagine that. Now it's looking like I can't. Well, I don't necessarily need to imagine that one. That is exactly what I expected. Okay, here we go. Weirdly easy. Possibly no fast forwarding even. Alright, now that we've left some of our oak up on top of there, let's keep on going and see if we can stretch this all the way over to this other thing. But ooh, we're gonna have to marry these two up. Let's see what we need to make it happen. Let's see if one of these puppies can help. Now, I'm not necessarily going to finish this whole roof marrying ceremony this time around, but we can probably make a little bit closer of a try at it. But ooh, that's going to get complicated. Well, let's go on just a little bit further with this 30-degree angle. Where is you? There you is. But once we've made it that far, I think that I've got another quick little idea that I wanted to do. I've been meaning to do this for... Oh, come on, give me over there. My goodness. Let's see what you look like from inside. Anyway. Okay, yeah, I kind of lost track of where I was checking. Maybe over... Okay, yeah, this is what I was checking. I wanted to see what that looks like. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit of trouble when I try to marry these guys up, but, well, we might be able to figure out something. Especially because this is going to be some sort of unused portion of the whole place anyway. I might just put a little roof across all the way over in this building, because it will still leave us plenty of window space. Ooh, and I might want to put both of these windows at the same height, so let's get out here and do that real quick. Alrighty, I think we can probably figure this one out. Let's just go for some quick little decorative blocks across here. That will go with the whole theme anyway. We might wind up putting more of them on there, but for the moment, we will stick with that. And we're going to put this window just a touch higher. There we go. And that'll go nicely with that bay window effect that I was thinking about anyway. Okay, well, let's carry on this part of the roof just a little bit further. Get it, well, you know what, the more I think about it, I think I am going to just do that thing where I put an internal roof here, or a ceiling, I guess is the word for internal roofs. Let's see. Let's see if we can make this one happen with the least possible annoyances. Yeah, this might work out. Especially if you will fail to break on me. Well, you're actually going pretty far before you lose support. I'm impressed. That might be about as far as I need you to go. Well, maybe just a little bit further. Oh, okay. That is the last option there. But, oh, before I forget about it, there is one little thing that I do kind of want to add on here. And that's one of these guys. Ooh, hopefully that'll work. Ooh, that might interfere with our window. But we're going to make it work somehow, because I kind of think that this is a cool effect when there's like a little roof going across the bottom here. Just on the gable, and let's see if we can finish this off a little bit more tidily here. Let's see what this is going to look like, and we'll figure out the effect on that window later on. Ooh, that's a little bit too low. I needed to go up one notch. Ooh. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to move this window quite a bit. That's a shame. I like this idea, so I'm going with it. I'm sticking with my original story. Let's try removing this very bottom piece and putting one of... Ooh, okay, yeah, that does work, actually. Let's get over here. And we're going to just have to give up on that window, maybe. Well, no, I'm not going to give up on the window either. We're just going to temporarily eliminate it. And eliminate these too, because they don't fit. We will figure out what's going to fit later on, and if we got to deal with those windows being at slightly different heights, I can live with that. Because I am willing to pay that price. Let's just keep on going over here with this. And see how this is going to... Well, it's going to snap in the incorrect spot is what it's going to do. Alrighty. Yeah, I do like that. That's going to look nice. I just got to figure out what to put behind it. Yeah, we'll find something. Or I can just give up on having a nice little bay window there, but... Ooh, actually, if I've got a bay window there, it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of roof across it. Well, we will figure out that in the next episode. But before I tail off on this episode, I'm going to bring this roof over just a little bit more and maybe make it actually meet up with this other one. That's kind of exciting. And hopefully it can be kind of quick, too. Am I going to be out of stuff again? I require more building materials. We just went and got a whole bunch more building materials, so give me them. And I should have even more in the box. If I should happen to need it. Which I believe I will happen to need it, because I tell you what, y'all, these roofs, as much as I love them, they sure enough go through the oak like crazy. Better to be overburdened. Let's just be a lot more overburdened. And I didn't remember this at the right time, but I do actually have a decent amount of oak back at the old Tier 1 cottage. So I will be able to go do a little bit more of that before I have to do any more actual grinding. Okay, what was I doing? Here we go. We gonna get... Oh, well, we gonna remember that we needed to get in the Eye of Oculus is what we gonna do. So let's do that. Eye of Oculus, and I can be overburdened as much as I want to be. I do love that about the Eye of Oculus. Okay, let's get the piece that I needed. And it's gonna be some of this. Probably on both of the roofs that we're trying to marry up. Don't make it be a shotgun wedding here. Now we reached the end of the portion that we can do up top a little bit faster than we did down here, interestingly enough. Although I guess maybe it's just because of the angle of the roof. But once we put this middle piece in, that should go just a little bit more smoothly. Hopefully. Although maybe we're just gonna have to actually get it over to a wall before it will relax just a little bit more. So we might not be able to quite finish this roof in this one video, but when we get back, we're gonna do some more stuff that actually does wind up making sense of the walls over here, and then we can actually wind up finishing the roof. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need to put another roof over here, actually, aren't I? Well, you know what, let's just go ahead and make it a lower roof than it's looking like at present. So we're going to put in some of these little guys. And we might as well just go ham with the roof in this episode. We're going to break that curse one way or another, y'all. Not sure how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And this might be the episode that does it. Although if I were y'all, I would not place any bets. Oh, come on. And I do think I'm going to fast forward through a little bit of this roofing, just, you know, the boring repetitive bits. And also because I'm hoping that I can eventually start making these episodes more like a half-hour long rather than whatever this has wound up being. Or whatever they have wound up being lately. Now that might be a little bit too steep for me. So I don't think I'm going to go quite that far with that. I might just wind up making this one kind of 45 degree-ish. Because I want this to peak out very slightly lower than the wall, than the roof behind it. So let's get over to this. I'm at about a half-hour note to me. Oh, well, that's not where I wanted it to go. I wanted you to go sort of halfway down. So do that. There we go. Yeah, and see, that might wind up keeping us sort of down at the same level, although, ooh. You know what, we're going to splay you out just a little bit more. I kind of want you to match up over here, now that I'm thinking about it. So I might bring this whole thing down a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. I might end up snapping it in the wrong spot anyway. Oh, it's getting dark. I'm not ready to quit for the night. I might need to quit for the night. Alrighty, well now that I've snapped that a little bit lower, it might work out a little bit better. Because I want it to, at the very most, just be as tall as this roof. I don't want it to go past this roof. And if we need to destroy some of this, we easily can do exactly that. But this beam is in place to sort of hide the way that this meets up with this. And I might even be able to put a window right here. But you know what? I don't think we necessarily need that. Anyway, as usual, I'm getting lost in the sauce, so we're going to put some of these going just like on the other one, or just like on the other side. Oh, I forgot one piece. And I'm going to leave this beam here until I decide what I'm going to do over here. But now I'm going to go take my quick little nap so that we can make it daylight again. Oh, I'm already overburdened. Why am I not shocked? How many times do I need to say that that is my natural state? Birdsong wakes you from your slumber. Alrighty. Just a little bit more and then we're going to call the episode, but I want to get this roof as close to done as we can manage this episode. Oh yeah, I need to get into the Eye of Oculus. And we need to do just a little bit more building. Not too much, but just enough so that we got the right shape over here. And I sure enough hope that this is snapping correctly. Actually, we're going to just put it back to basics so that I'm a little bit more certain. Because I don't trust you, advanced snapping. You do weird things to me sometimes. But this is basically just going to be a repeat of what's over there, to the best of my abilities. And I'm not certain that that snapped correctly this time. Oh, goodness. Well, let's see what happens. Alrighty. Let's see how this is going to meet up. And how nice it's going to be to me. Not usually nice, but hey, we can make it work. Alright, so far so good. Now this whole thing might have a little bit more support going on. We can knock down where we overshot here. And we can join up the two sides. Which is always exciting. Well, it's exciting when the gameplay's nice. Oh, good grief. I'm still thinking that it's worth it to move my base over here. Although they're starting to make me doubt my conclusion. Where is you? There you is. Troublematic little things. There, I'm sure that was worth both of our times. Ooh, would you look at that? I'm not overburdened anymore. That's a weird feeling. Alrighty, just one last little push here. Now that is not the correct piece, is it? Let's try some of, well, see what it looks like inside. See if we can manage that. That might be the right amount. Let's actually get over to a valley here. And let's see if you fit. You don't quite fit. But I can make you fit. With the help of one of these smaller pieces. Well, two of those smaller pieces. Alright, that's a lot of progress. And now we just need to make these little guys meet up too. Which we might be able to do. I think that's at about the same level, isn't it? We can find out in just a second. Oh, and once again, I do not trust the advanced snapping, so thankfully I am actually still in basic snapping. Let's go ahead and build this part up just a little bit more. And we're going to use these smaller pieces for this, so that I can get that nice frilly effect. Not sure what I'm going to do at the top there yet. If y'all ever notice me looking down at the ground before I snap something, that's just me checking the rotation of the piece, which may or may not be correct. Alrighty, anyway, as I was doing, I was going to try to make these guys marry up nicely. We might need to get rid of that to make that work properly. Because we're going to use one of these, well, one of these medium-sized valleys. Ooh, that's not the medium-sized valley, is it? This is looking a little bit more medium. Extremely medium, as it were. Speaking of extremely medium, we need an extremely medium piece. And here we need a rather small piece. Alright, now that is married up very nicely up, well, down there. We're gonna have to figure out something up here, I think. But we can probably manage something that works. We can just carry this roof right through the top. Because we don't necessarily need to see the very tip top of the ceiling here. That we can just cover up. No problem. And I might do some interesting stuff on this, but we're not going to do that yet. Ooh, it does need that cute little pointiness. Let's put some cute little pointiness in there. This might also involve a little bit of fast forwarding. And there we go, one tiny little ridge of pointiness there. Alright. That at least keeps it going with the theme. Let's see if we can make this go through just a little bit further. Oh, I keep on picking the big pieces. I don't mean to. Alrighty, and now we're going to get into the, well, the valley territory here. And seeing how all this is going to meet up. But you know what? We are making so much progress here. We might just have to untangle some of this mess in the next episode. Because over here, we're going to be roofing this whole piece, well, ceilinging this whole puppy over. So we just need it to look decent enough over here. We're going to be ceilinging up here as well. Let's go ahead and put the ceilinging in so that I know what needs to actually be done and what does not need any more worrying. Let's see, where shall we start this ceiling? Ooh. Yeah, right about here seems a good spot. This will tell us what we need to do to that window. That's telling me something. Let's feed out just a little bit more of this ceiling. Boy, that's going to be some skinny ceiling, huh? Get at the right angle. Come on, get up there. We're going to pick up all these pieces somehow, some way. Well, there are not as many out here as I was expecting. Maybe they're all over here. Okay, good enough. Now let's get back up there for one final little quick jam. Hopefully I don't run out of tether. Alright. Well, I think we need to keep on carrying this roof over. Just a little bit more. We're probably going to need some more torches up in here. But let's go ahead and put something down here. Let's just try a lower down window for the moment. We will probably replace it with something interestingly bay-like coming up soon. But for the moment, let's go ahead and make sure we got some kind of light going in. Something that works. Hopefully. That's going to be covered up either way for the moment. Just a few more little valleys here. We don't necessarily need to fuss over too much. And then I will be able to tie up this cute little episode. The cute little bower 12. Alright, we're getting close. And I think I'm going to put a pointy valley up here, if we can find one of those. Medium. Well, that didn't quite work. Oh, well, that didn't quite work either. There we go. Let's just go on up with one of these. Oh, don't tell me that I'm running out just now. You nasty little creature. That was probably just enough right there. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Oh, goodness. Well, you know what, y'all? We got this right here, right in front of our face. I tell y'all what, these roofs are expensive. And now with all of that done, let's see if I can make this snap where I want it to. Or if I can't, you know what, let's just carry the roof on through. Because I can always fix that somehow, some way later on. We can always cover up the weirdness on the inside. There's always the ceiling alternative. Ooh, that almost meets up though. Oh well, close enough for now. Let's get back out there and see what it looks like. If y'all have enjoyed me wrestling with this cursed roof. Oh, but actually kind of winning this time. What do you know? If y'all enjoy that kind of fighting, then please leave a like on this video, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Because we still got a whole bunch of fairytale village to build out here, y'all. This is just the first house, and we're not even quite done with it yet. But I got some plans coming up. Bye.